A couple of weeks ago, I posted a video about 5 woodworking projects that have been great sellers for me. And I think you guys really enjoyed that video because probably like me, for you, this is a side hustle or maybe it's even a full-time business for you. And you wanna know what woodworking projects can I make so that I can make money. So in today's video, I'm gonna give you 5 more projects that have been great sellers for me. I'm gonna give you some tips on how I would go about selling each one of these products. And once again, let me know if I missed something. Let me know in the comments because I'd love to hear feedback from you guys. But with no further ado, here's 5 more woodworking projects that sell. Let's go. Number 1, I'm really excited about this one. It is cutting board butter. Now you might say, Ben, that's not even a true woodworking project. You know, you may be right, but nevertheless, cutting board butter has been one of my best-selling projects for sure. What is cutting board butter? Essentially, the cutting board butter, at least the cutting board butter that I make, it's a mixture of beeswax and mineral oil that you can apply to a cutting board or a charcuterie board or a coaster, really any kind of kitchen board, and it brings back a nice finish and polish so that even after years of use, those cutting boards that you sell to your clients can make sure they are always looking good as new. Here are a few reasons why I would highly recommend you sell cutting board butter if you are not already. Number 1, it leads to great repeat purchases. If someone buys a cutting board from you and then they buy some cutting board butter from you, eventually as they use their cutting board, they're going to be using their cutting board butter and eventually it's going to run out. And where are they going to go to buy more cutting board butter? They're going back to you. And they might go back to you and say, hey, I want some more cutting board butter, and also I need another charcuterie board for a friend. It leads to great repeat business, which is so nice because you're not having to spend the money trying to find a new customer. You can just sell more products to customers that you already have. Another thing that I have done in the past, I find myself doing this a lot at craft shows, is I use cutting board butter as a promotion. So I'll say, hey, if you buy a cutting board that is $75 or more expensive, I'll throw in for free a can of cutting board butter. And a lot of times people see like, hey, I'm getting 2 things for the price of 1, and they buy both. And it really is a good deal for them. So if you're in person and you want to kind of run a sale, using cutting board butter as a promotion works great. I'm going to be making a video in a couple of weeks about my exact recipe and process and tips for making and selling cutting board butter. So if you've never made this before, hit the subscribe button, and in a few weeks you'll see a video come out about how I make cutting board butter. Number 2, big green egg tables. Now these I've had a lot of fun making, and I might have created the best system for making and selling these tables. Now, first of all, a big green egg table is basically a patio table that's pretty strong. I make mine out of 2x4s and 5/4 inch decking, but it has a circle cut out of the top and then a shelf below it so that a big green egg can fit right into the table, and then your client can cook on their green egg but have, you know, meat or supplies on the table right next to it. These have been a great seller for me, and here is how I recommend you sell these if you're interested in selling them. What I would do, and what I did when I first started selling these, is I created a prototype. I took some pictures of it, and then I posted it on Facebook Marketplace. What I said is, hey, I make these big green egg tables. Maybe I had 2 different sizes. Like here's a small, here's a large, here's the price for a small, here's the price for a large. Message me if you would like me to build you one. I need 2 weeks to build it. And people would see those pictures and they would message me and say, hey, I'll take a large, or I'll take 2 smalls, or whatever the case is. And then I would go to my shop, build however many, and deliver it, or have the client pick it up from my shop. What's so nice about this is I didn't have to worry about building them ahead of time and then storing them, because these tables are pretty big, pretty bulky, and I don't have unlimited room in my shop, so I didn't want to build them and just have them sitting around. One more thing that I did that was really, really nice is I got one of my friends who wanted to make a little bit of money, and I taught him how to build these big green egg tables, and I was paying him an hourly rate to build them. And so there were even times when I was out of town where an order would come in for a big green egg table, my friend would build it at an hourly rate. Maybe I'd pay him $40 because they don't take that long to make. make. And then I'd sell that table for $150, $175, something like that. And I was making money, not quite 100% automated, but it got pretty close to being an automated system. These are a great seller. For some reason, I when I moved about 2 years ago, stopped making these. I was just getting really busy and I kind of stopped, but I now have a little more spare time. And so I'm gonna start selling these again using the exact method that I described to you just now. So big green egg tables, great seller, just my 2 cents worth. Number 3, project that sells very well, super easy to make, is poster hangers. There are a few different ways that you can make these poster hangers, and either way is super easy. One thing you can do, which I've done with most of mine, is take a poster from a client and cut out your 2 strips of wood glue them onto the poster, and then just hang your string over the top and say, hey, I'll do a poster for $15 or $20. I've done that a lot in the past. You can also make poster hangers with magnets so that 2 strips of wood kind of clasp together, leaving the poster in the middle. That's also a great way that you can sell these even if you don't have the poster that your client wants to hang. Either way, it's a great way to get scrap wood out of your shop. Super, super easy to make. I mean, I feel like I couldn't even make a video on explaining how to make this because they're so simple to make, but yet people love them. They are in right now, and so these, for me, have been a great seller. A 4th project that has sold very well for me is desks. Now, if I was gonna go about selling desks, I would use the exact same strategy that I told you about with the big green egg tables. I would maybe make a prototype, post it on Facebook, or whenever someone commissions you to build a desk, take some pictures and say, hey, I just built this desk for Mr. Joe over here, and if you want me to build a desk similar, let me know. Post that on Facebook, and I promise you, you'll have people reach out wanting you to build them desks. Most of the desks that I've sold are actually not super nice. It's like not a desk that I would personally want. Most of the ones I sell are made with interior grade 2x8 lumber on the tops, and then maybe metal legs like hairpin legs, or just some kind of square metal legs that you can get on Amazon. I'll leave some links in the description to some of those legs. But those have been the desks that have sold the best for me. And I can usually sell these desks profitably for about $150 to $250, kind of depending on the size of the desk or the table. But people love them. People keep on asking me, will you make me some? Will you make me some? And I do it, even though I'm like, this is really easy to make. I have no problem selling these desks to people. Quick disclaimer before we get to number 4. Sometimes if you're like me, you might think, I don't know if I can charge someone for this, like building a desk or something like that, because it's so simple. I'm just making cross cuts, then I'm joining these boards together with pocket holes, throwing some legs on there, and calling it good. So how can I sell this to someone and charge them money for it? But what you have to remember is, as a woodworker, you have expertise that most people don't have. And you also have access to tools that most people don't have. Most people probably don't have a pocket hole jig. And for them to just buy a pocket hole jig for one project, it's gonna cost them $120. So don't sell yourself short, which I've done many times. Don't sell yourself short and think, I can't charge $150 for this desk because it was so easy for me to make. It only took me 2 hours. Don't think that, because if you're doing your best and being honest with your customers, I promise you're still adding value to them. And that's what you want to do as an honest woodworker. A 5th project that has been a great seller for me. It's a super fun project to make. One of the first woodworking projects that I ever made, but it is K-cup holders. I have a super old video on the channel that I'll link right up here if you want to check that out, about how I made some kind of rustic K-cup holders, but you can really play around with the designs. You can maybe laminate up some different boards so you have different colors, different types of wood, and then cut out your K-cup holder from that laminated board. Or like I did in this video, you can just use one single board that has a really nice character. But these are very simple to make, and people love to give these as gifts to people who love coffee or have a Keurig. One way that I have marketed these K-cup holders that's really handy is I say, hey, if you have multiple types of coffee, like a Starbucks and a Dunkin' K-cup, you can all put them in this K-cup holder and grab whichever one you want, as opposed to having to dig through a bin where they're not organized at all. It's a fun project. It sold well for me. If you want to make some, check out this really old video, and please leave a like because I've come a long way since I made that video. Hey, I want to learn from you. Let me know in the comments what woodworking projects have sold very well for you. I would love to hear from you. Hey, if you've enjoyed this video, check out one of these two videos because in these videos I talk about how you can make money as a woodworker. I'll see you in one of these.